Hello, everybody. Buddy Webb, Midland, Texas. I posted a story on my Facebook this morning called "Illegal Game Rooms," and I think you're gonna find this super interesting here. I've did a short write up on it, and I've got this picture here. I'm gonna show you this. This is a Google Earth picture showing my home right behind the Home Depot store right here. As you know, there's a tunnel that was cut from Home Depot to my home. It looks like in the backyard's believed to be one of the 4 underground homes, the secret bunker there. And what I'm showing on the print screen here is a woman was telling me, she says, "That's so bizarre, but yeah, I so believe you." We had a lot of people recently in the past week talking about the underground tunnels here and discussing the underground. Word here in Midland is how there's a game room here that all the high officials go to, and bet money, and win money and whatever else they do down there, i.e. prostitution. But I hear more and more people talking about it. And then I tell her in 2012 I suggested to FBI agent Dominic maybe it's an illegal casino and brothel, and he said real slow, maybe. And because of his answer, I believe I guessed right, and I believe that's what was going on in the underground homes, was an illegal casino, i.e. game room. Okay, I broke this out into comments with pictures. I'm gonna do it that way, and we're gonna jump right in. I told the ex-wife that I wanted a divorce on December 20th, 2011. This was the night that she'd called the police to my home for no real reason. That's 5 weeks before the murder attempt. The police officers dispatched Bush and Trent Sellars, handcuffed me, and then put me in the back of a police car, which already had a baggie of marijuana laying in the seat. They then warned me, we better not be called back here again for this stuff. The threat to being framed was very clear. In retrospect, I believe they knew about the underground homes in the backyard where the oil show parties were held, which is why they were threatening me. After the police left that night, the ex-wife told me, "We're creating a document trail on you." I later wondered if certain Midland Police had started to plan my murder and its cover-up 5 weeks in advance. That would be Officers Davis, Dickie, Chatwell, Angel, and Hale. That's the 5 that were under my home the night I was shot by somebody in her home. And then April, Chandler, and Rosie Rodriguez, who tampered with the evidence, falsified police report, as well as Bush, Trent Sellars. There were 2 that were at my house that night. I wondered if the former chief of police, Bryce Robinson, was also involved. It seems like a lot of people know about these secret underground homes. And then the picture I have is the police report from that night, 39 days. There's the number on it and the time stamp on it, 12/20. That was the night I told the ex-wife I wanted a divorce. Here in the text, it says, told wife that someone has been getting in their house, stealing stuff, she's letting them in. Husband is going crazy, currently being treated for ADHD, because that makes you crazy. Bush, Trent Sellars, that's the 2 police officers. That's who put me in the back of the police car with a bag of marijuana, okay? And then threatened me. We better not be called here again for this stuff. And then the text message which was from Bush. Male half extremely 1096, smearing the name of the crime victims is what they do, and I've already showed that. They will be advised, they advise they will be separating outside the household, and because that's what I told them that night, we're getting a divorce, this is over. And then here at the last here, I'm just showing this was added less than an hour after I was shot with my phone lines cut, and I think Matt Davis did that. Actually, in 22 seconds, boom, 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 there's 3 of them added like that they referenced this gun call. They wanted to reference this police call. That was their document trail. Davis was one of the ones I called out. Okay. The ex-wife had also told me, Danny said they will just take your house. After I saw the murder attempt, I asked my brother Danny if he had said this, but he said no. I also asked for his help, and he said, "I'm not helping you." He quit talking to me for several years for no given reason, and I was the crippled survivor of a premeditated murder attempt. We have been talking this last year. The ex-wife moved out a few days later, even though most of her stuff was here. This was when she took my life insurance books without my knowledge, and they showed that if my murder was ruled an accident, then it would add an additional $250,000 plus 2 years' pay. That was on to what was already getting in life insurance. This was because I was also paying for an accidental death insurance policy. Insurance fraud seems to be one of the many crimes being committed here. If my murder was ruled an accident by the ex-wife's lifelong friend, Rosie Rodriguez, then she was going to get my home, half of the 401k, and insurance money. My 3 kids, Josh, Jennifer, and Jordan, were set up to split the other half. I estimated it was around $1.6 million, but mostly insurance money that I no longer have. Otherwise, she was going to get nothing since this was just a 3-month marriage. In 2020, the ex-wife's former boyfriend, Arthur Welch, posted on his Facebook that he had overheard her planning my murder with her police friends to steal life insurance. Her and Detective Rosie Rodriguez had gone to elementary school together. I found that out 2 years later at the protective order hearing. These were the books she took. DCP Midstream was my company. 2012 benefits, basic accidental death, 2 times base pay, and then supplemental accidental death, $250,000. And I found out 2 years later that the ex-wife and Detective Rosie Rodriguez, which was a detective that ruled this failed murder and accident, were grade school buddies. They'd gone to, elementary school together, were friends all their life. I didn't know that until then. This is what Arthur Welch posted on his Facebook. I was dating this guy's ex-wife when I overheard her talking things. I heard she tried to have him killed for insurance money. And to hear how many police were involved. One, her longtime personal friend. And that was Rosie Rodriguez. Okay. And that's right on Facebook. Of course, the big prize was $1 million underground home in the backyard that was hosting the oil show parties. Another woman told me that the word around town is it was a game room where the high rollers took their friends. In 2012, I was at the Midland FBI office. I said that a minute ago, and suggested it was an illegal casino brothel. And he's like, maybe. You'll see many game rooms in Odessa, Texas, but there are none in Odessa 20 miles away because it's illegal here. An illegal game room would be a moneymaker. Gambling establishments are known for organized crime and prostitution. I showed you that a minute ago. In my backyard's where one of them underground bunkers is at, one of the 4 underground bunkers. And then the lady told me that the word is there's a game room in Midland. And what I was showing is a whole bunch of game rooms over in Odessa here. I just went to Google Maps. This is Odessa. Them are game rooms. This is Midland. Ain't no game rooms. Except for maybe one underground in my backyard. And there's 4 underground bunkers. Maybe they're all game rooms. A week before I was shot with my phone lines cut, she comes by to pick up her stuff. I'd already had it packed in the garage. I was also giving her some of my furniture for her kids. She told me about some interesting things that day. She said that my family was going on a secret ski vacation that weekend, and I wasn't invited. I believe that my brother, Danny, my nephew, Justin, and my oldest daughter, Jennifer, went along with my dad to that ski vacation that I wasn't invited to. These are most of the same family members that quit talking to me after I survived the murder attempt. Keep in mind, I was ambushed and shot with my phone lines cut a week later, and that's the same ones quit talking to me. Okay, this is one of our ski vacations, and that's me and my nephew, Justin, right there. And we went in 2019. Actually, I taught my kids to ski. We've gone on, several family ski vacations, and here they have this one and didn't invite me. The ex-wife also told me about 15 years earlier that my dad had an affair on my mom with Pat Mason, and almost broke up the family. This was the day we're loading the stuff in her car. She said that I was the only one in the family that didn't know about it. Dwayne and Pat Mason lived in Odessa and made a lot of money. I believe he worked for CSI. Possibly this is one of the companies connected with the underground oil show parties here, which I believe are connected with organized prostitution. About a year after I shot, Dad told me that he was going to marry Pat Mason, who lived in Weatherford at the time, and he moved there and then moved back. And here's just showing CSI was acquired by Compresco, and one of the largest gas compressor companies in the United States, big oil field company here. Then my dad later marries my former mother-in-law, Ann Galloway. She built the Hobbs home. I wasn't invited to the wedding. Recently did a video about that. I suspected Ann and Don Galloway rigged my Hobbs home, and they built these 2 homes. I suspect there's a tunnel under them. Don died just a couple of weeks before. My father-in-law died a couple of weeks before I shot. Okay, and then here, it says this at the protective order. They asked me about prostitution, ex-wife, and I said they pay you by the hour, the minute, and the day. I just worked 2 days. I'm tired. That's what the ex-wife told me. And I said also, if you want to say accused her, I accused her of breath smelling like semen. In another conversation, I said I want to know who the pimps, tricks, and drug dealers are. She said it's a family business.